What is going on, my Galaxians? We got a legal update for you today. So this is a good one to just listen to in your car on the way to work or something like that. And this is specifically Spider Tanks, Game Media versus Gala Games. No new updates for the Founder Node lawsuit or the Superior one at this time. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. As always, I am not a lawyer, so take this with a grain of salt. This is just me reading what I thought were the most pertinent parts of here and just my personal commentary. Now, we do get to hear some of Game Media's correspondence, but all these documents here, these declarations from Jason Brink, Levi Hansen, Yonatan, this is all from Gala's side. So Game Media still hasn't supplied anything to the court at all. What I found very interesting is that there is a date, May 24th at 10 a.m. in courtroom 7B to discuss this preliminary injunction here. So we should definitely have an update by then, I would think, or after that is what I mean. So this is what is called a preliminary injunction, basically kind of going over what Gala Games is accusing Game Media of doing. So basically, obviously, Gala Games says that Game Media is preventing tens of thousands of video game fans from enjoying the popular Spider Tanks. I have no idea if we ever hit tens of thousands. I would be curious on that peak month. Maybe we did during that crazy mayhem month. After a successful launch of the popular game, defendant Game Media sought to be bought out by plaintiff Gala Games to the tune of $40 million. It's quite a bit of money. So Gala Games seeks an order prohibiting Game Media from marketing or taking other actions in abnegation of Gala Games' exclusivity period until October 31st, 2025. What they're saying here is Game Media stopped developing the game, and obviously Gala was not happy about that. And to turn over the source code so that Gala Games can exercise its exclusive right to develop the branded game and to fully use the IP for the duration of the exclusive licensing period. They said since the cessation of development, there was a 99.9% decline in user engagement, which is probably true. Gala Games has lost substantial goodwill and reputation in the community, as evidenced by hundreds of furious public statements, which is also true. And later, you'll get to see if you made the highlight reel in these legal documents of some Discord comments. And then they said that Game Media is basically pressuring them into this buyout. So Gala Games, the first thing they wanted to say is, delivering the branded game. So they spent, 1 million euros, advanced that to Game Media to, build this game. And then Gala Games agreed to share revenue from the game with Game Media, a 50-50 split. So that's pretty good. At the peak, the branded game had generated over $24 million monthly. That is an insane amount of money. I'm assuming maybe that was only for a month or two. And since then, revenue has plummeted to less than $8,000 a month, a 99.9% decrease. So yeah, for that 1 month, that'd be like 12 million to Game Media, which is pretty cool, or would be pretty nice. Unending stream of customer disengagement and angry posts about the company. That is true. Yes, obviously, lots of people are very angry about that. So we'll scroll down here. On October 31st, 2022, the parties released the official commercial launch. So Gala Games says this is when the quote commercial launches, which is important, which we'll take note of a little later here. But Game Media said it was like a whole year before that during the beta testing. And so henceforth, they would say October 31st, 2025 is when the exclusive period should end. And then Game Media could go on their way if they wanted to at that time. So in summer 2023, Game Media expressed its desire to be acquired by Gala Games for at least $30 to $40 million, testified that Tucker demanded an offer and that $20 million would be silly. Since Game Media's cessation of development, a steep drop off in revenues that were averaging $1.5 million per month to under $8,000. So 1.5 million, so that's like 30 millions in 2 years or so, is just my guesstimation there. So that means they should have got 15 million already if they split it 50-50, which is not too shabby. In support of its new position, Otto cited screenshots expressly stating a closed beta. What they mean here is Game Media said that they commercially launched on September 19th, 2021, not November 2021. Both of these were closed beta testing. So, I mean, in my opinion, that's not a commercial launch. It's a closed beta. And then their lawyer here cited screenshots expressly stating it was a closed beta, trying to say that that's when the commercial launches. And then Gala was upset because Game Media then marketed on the 6th of 2024 here, March, that They put out like a Twitter post, said, hey, we're looking for new partners ready to kick it in next year. And that was without Gala Games' consent. Game Media included the branded game in that video of a taste of what's to come. And they argue that that's their exclusive right to market the branded game and is not allowed for Game Media to do that. So the next article we have here, or the document, is Jason Brink, and this is his basically like sworn declaration statement. The first part of it here is basically just kind of going over what we literally just talked about in the preliminary injunction. So he said, in the course of discussions with some of the Spider Tanks folks, Game Media, he said that CEO Dietmar Tucker demanded extraordinary payouts before Game Media would continue supporting the game or allow Gala Games to exercise its right to develop the game. And that he said $20 million would be silly, basically saying that he wanted like 30 to 40 is what Gal is trying to say here. And then he said that he knew Tucker was behind the strategy because his employees were eager to continue developing and to have the community continue to enjoy the product. He said he specifically recalled meetings where he tried to salvage a relationship, absorb responsibilities, and reach a deal. Game Media employees were positive about these opportunities, but Tucker would reject them and return to his bottom line, which he has now been repeating for months. Pay me tens of millions of dollars to buy what you already have the right to do, to develop and distribute the game. So, once again, this is Gala side only. They did say that Gala Games takes pride in its high quality and professional workmanship, management, and communications. They're saying that Game Media was alleging that Gala Games engaged in unprofessional workmanship, mismanagement, and communications. So I do have to say Gala has an issue with communications for sure sometimes. So they probably have that. And I understand that Game Media has alleged that Gala Games provided delayed or incomplete payments or payment information. And that is probably for sure true as well, because I know for a fact Gala has had difficulty getting their accounting office in line for some reason, and they pay people really, really late sometimes, really just dragging it out for way longer than it should be. And I got that from multiple sources, artists, third parties, stuff like that. So I do know that they delay. Now, I will say that I believe they, pay out in full. It just, for whatever reason, has to just be dragged along for so long for no reason. Everything I just kind of skipped there was the whole contract, which obviously I'm not going to read through all that legalese. So here's the first exhibit here, Exhibit B. Showing pre-sale, pre-launch activities. Date was like July 2021. The beta release of the game, beta game, August 2021. And then the release of the game, commercial release, November 2021. So Game Media is arguing that this is when they did release it. Commercial release versus commercial launch. Yeah, a little bit of, I guess, wordplay. And then commercial release means a version of the game is complete and made available by Game Media to Gala Games for availability to play by all Gala Game users. Does not require the user to own a specific NFT to access the game. And so these were beta tests during this time frame. So I would say the commercial release did not happen at that time, but I'm not a lawyer and I don't know how to play with the word games there. So they showed some other exhibits here, basically showing that Spider Tanks had a closed beta, so that's not available to everybody to play. September 24th, 2021. And then I'm going to try to jump through some of these for you guys. Yeah, you can see where a lot of the filler of the pages has come from. So Exhibit 3 shows, again, Spider Tanks, new play test, new tank parts, November 24th. Again, this was a play test. It was a beta play test. I think right before Into the Galaverse or something like that. Skipping through. Okay, so I didn't read every page, obviously, since some of these are garbage. Spider Tanks Free for All, April 25th, 2022. So this was Spider Tanks is ready for early release and you can play for free. So these are all the Medium articles. They're basically kind of trying to quote here showing when the commercial launch was, because that was obviously important. So the road to player earnings with the April 19th launch, the only earnings for tank owners and map owners at that time came in the form of a test coin, a preliminary testing coin with no value that cannot be transferred. I think that's one of their arguments, because for the commercial launch, it had to be monetized, meaning, you can like make money, right? Or make silk from the game. And so that's why they're putting this in there as well and highlighting those specific parts here. Token with no value, used exclusively to test the blockchain reward distribution. All initial Spider Tank rewards will be that test coin only. Spider Tanks is ready for early release. Once again, just another, thing with a date on here, April 25th, 2022, for them to argue towards the judge that this is when the commercial launch was closing in. All rewards, once again, had no value, although I believe they did switch the test coin into Real Silk, if I'm not mistaken, which was nice for the people who had been playing and testing the game out for sure. The next exhibit here, Exhibit 5, another Medium article. This one stating the official launch is set for October 31st, 2022. So all this right here is just to get to the point of Gala saying, hey, this is where we went through with the beta launches. Here's the official launch. It was October 31st, 2022, which I would agree. I mean, that's when it launched, right? The full game launched, and everybody was able to play. You were able to earn silk at that time in the game. Worldwide, you were able to play it. Well, if you were in South Africa, you might have had bad ping, but people were able to get in there and play. Let's see, was there anything else in this section? Exhibit 6, again, just Spider Tanks is launched 31st, 2022. So that's just all their kind of supporting evidence is basically these Medium articles that are dated here. And Exhibit 7. Exhibit 7 shows basically a message from Robin of Game Media. He threw this on the, I don't know where this was thrown, but October 11th, 2023. Quick update here, as some of you might know, because of the discussions around our collaboration with Gala Games have not come to a solution, we've stopped all further development for Spider Tanks on the Gala Games platform, as we believe that we have performed all agreed development activities quite a while ago. The license Gala Games owns for Spider Tanks still remains valid until October 31st, 2024. Please also avoid using licensed materials from Wizards and Warriors or Stoda on any social media or elsewhere. Feel free to reach out if you have questions regarding this, but please refrain from any questions or resource requests or suggestions for Spider Tanks. And then that was kind of the end of it, right? And then this is just the post that Game Media had thrown on there with Jason Brink and stuff with the whole exclusive rights that they hold. Okay, so let's move over to Levi Hansen here, who, whoa, did I zoom in too much? Nah, that's pretty good. So Levi Hansen, he specifically was the product lead for Spider Tanks. I don't think he became the product lead though until January 2023. I think a couple different product leads probably flowed through. He gives some of the comments that we all already heard before. Game Media representative named Robin Herman delivered to me a roadmap of intended ongoing feature development. So that was obviously kind of exciting for them to see. And then this is basically the some of the exhibits. So I do just have to scroll through just a few of these because it's just kind of funny. And you can see if you kind of made the highlight reel here. But Magic, basically complaining, are you going to let us die? Akbar here, so bad. GG Gala says some choice words there. Stefanito, what exactly happened to Spider Tanks? Was it just suddenly abandoned? Who else is in here? RGBTC Gen 86. I don't know who that is. Well, your NFT will serve you as toilet paper. So look at all this wonderful evidence from some of you. Foxhole, plans for the game, 0 updates, not even lying. Rug pull, 100%. Love to see them prove me wrong, but they can't. Foxhole again. Yeah, they lied. They all said that about factories and esports, which is true. Factories and esports, right? Which we were kind of promised. Man, can I move this here? Let's see if I can shift this around. Vanlius, yeah, mate. Seems that Gala totally abandoned the game. So yeah, a lot of hate with Gala, right? That's their whole point here. Luke Billy, hey, look, Luke, you made it. The scam is selling ownership to the in-game items that doesn't last a year. I'm not even talking about play to earn. Ania, game is almost abandoned. Cowardly of Gala. So these are all just to push Gala, saying, hey, we lost a lot of confidence in a lot of folks with all these Discord screenshots. Hey, Sergeant Slaughter, look, you made it. Some of these names, though, I recognize some. Will Balluck, they abandoned us. Nephilim Haas pops in here every now and again, but has nothing to do with it. Friend, Gala ruined this game. So there's your highlight reels. Tezzy, Jedi Mind Tricks. A lot of names everybody recognizes from some of the Spider Tank Discord. Neofly. Lucabilly, look, you made it again. No, I haven't noticed anything important. Completely abandoned. Abandoned. Killed. Zeph. Rug pull. Pratamethus. Yeah. All right. Sorry I scrolled through all that. Just wanted to let you guys see in case, you made the highlight reel there. Didn't want to, leave anybody out. So this next part was the preliminary injunction, which I obviously don't know where I'm scrolling to right here. Let's see. Yeah, so this is just really short. So basically, this is the thing that's saying May 24th, 2024 at 10 a.m., courtroom 7B, Central District, California, is when the first injunction discussion is apparently. And like I said, they want to prohibit gay media from marketing, and they want to have gay media turn over the source code. And so here is Gala Games' proposed order. What this basically means, if I'm not mistaken, is basically this is Gala Games lawyers writing, "This is what we think you should say, Judge." And obviously, all that says is what they have already discussed. Now, Yantan Declaration. Who is he? He's a partner at the law firm. So yeah, he's the one that kind of went back and forth with Game Media and their legal team. And so we have these emails basically discussing the breach of obligations that they discussed. Here's just a couple of interesting parts. Despite their persistent efforts, Gala Games repeatedly made commitments and assurances that unfortunately were not upheld. So this is Game Media saying that Gala Game made commitments that weren't upheld. They expressed readiness to merge their entire company with Gala Games, but yet, regrettably, these efforts yielded no resolution and merely resulted in more unfulfilled commitments, unmet deadlines, and postponed scheduled meetings. However, Gala Games' unprofessional manner of collaboration and communication left Game Media with no viable path forward and, regrettably, no choice but to discontinue further development. Commercial launch with November 2021 as the agreed upon delivery date. So again, that's just where that kind of discussion goes back and forth. One notable instance involves the implication made by Jason Brink regarding Game Media allegedly requesting an unreasonable sum of money from Gala Games, with Game Media allegedly holding Gala Games and their community hostage. Well, I mean, $40 million is a lot of money. So I don't know if that's really... I guess unreasonable sum of money is in the eye of the beholder. Game Media to provide ongoing updates to Spider Tank's post-commercial launch, nor does it obligate Game Media to provide any customer support. So they're saying that agreement does not require them to continue development on the game. They can just plop it out the way it was, I guess, and just move on. So they discussed here the term is expressly based on the commercial launch, not the commercial release. Having discussion of those back and forth. Accordingly, they wanted them to deliver the brand new source code to Gala within 30 days hereof. Obviously, that did not happen. They explain that Gala Games is taking over development and support of Spider Tanks and thank Game Media for its work and transition and hereby ameliorate any misconceptions about the company's relationship. Now, this was Gala saying, hey, okay, we're open to issuing this joint public statement that you handed over development to us and that we thank you for your work and transition so that there's no misconceptions about the company's relationships. Obviously, that was not agreed upon either, since we did not see anything like that come out. Then Game Media's legal team was saying commercial launch on September 19th, 2021. This assertion is substantiated by the following key factors. That no special codes or closed early access systems were necessitated for downloading the branded game. That's not true, right? This was beta release. If I'm not mistaken, this is all beta. Enabled monetization. Users had the option to purchase NFTs. They could buy NFTs, but monetization means earning, to me at least, like Silk and everything. Accessibility. This version of the branded game was freely available for download, accessible to users globally. That's not true. Same thing. Closed beta. And then public marketing. The release was accompanied by a trailer, blog post, giveaways, and active engagement. Yeah, I'm really sure that occurred. So that being said, it is also important to note that Article 2.1 also states the following: rights not expressly granted to Gala Games under this agreement are exclusively reserved to Game Media. That means the agreement they signed, right? Anything that's not in there, basically Game Media has. As you have undoubtedly discovered when assessing the agreement, no right to obtain the source code has been expressly granted to Gala Games under that agreement. Such right cannot be read in the quoted section 10.4a either. As a result, no right to receive the source code exists, which they just have an argument about that as well. So over the course of the 26-month period spanning from October 2021 to December 2023, Gala Games exhibited a pattern of non-payment for 16 out of these 26 months. Again, that might be true because I know Gala Games is late on payments to third parties, artists, and creators. Like I said, it tends to come around, but that should not be an issue with a company. Your accountings should be squared away. Everything should be run super smooth. People should get their paychecks the way that they're told they're going to receive their paychecks. So that's definitely something Gala needs to absolutely work on. Right here, they're just showing a slide with the pre-sale alpha launch plan, purchasing those legendary chickens and the ancient, or the legendary chickens, the epic chickens, and the rare chickens. I think those got turned into ancients. So the legendary max level ones turned into ancient tanks. 20,000 a pop. Scrolling down, we got some. I think this is from Slack talking about the pre-sale. It's going to start today according to the plan we want to spend today. Make sure our players experience smooth gameplay, low ping rate. Ditmar says we're good on our side, not experiencing high ping problems anymore. Some fix with something. And then Eric Schreier saying, launch it. This was from Game Media, so they're providing this, right, in this documentation. I think they're trying to say here, because Eric said launch it, that means that the game had a commercial launch, which this is kind of weak evidence, in my opinion. So, yeah, here's like a marketing plan. You can see here, closed beta. Again, I really don't think Game Media is going to win this part of it. I mean, with the whole commercial release versus like these closed beta tests. Again, if they want to argue the whole unprofessional thing with like, delayed payments and stuff, they'll have to like provide, I don't know what evidence, folks need for that or whatever, or the judge does. Okay, this was super interesting to me. This is literally a picture and supposedly is just a screenshot of a recorded meeting that took place in early 2022 with a Gala Game employee at that time, Aaron Coe. In this meeting, there is a clearly present mutual understanding that Game Media's obligations under the contract were fulfilled for a considerable amount of time. The purpose of this meeting was for Game Media and Gala Games to discuss details about what parts of the continued personal investment in the project from both parties were recoupable. So that's cool. I'm assuming, so yeah, they say recorded meeting. So this obviously evidence will come to light, I guess. And when we hear the whole recording, which, how does that work with legal documents? I'm not sure, guys. Gala Games sharing damaging, false, misleading, and or confidential information. Target release date for Spider Tanks is October 31st, 2022. A screenshot of Gala Games employee Ben Skaggs sharing the Spider Tanks October 31st release date in the Gala Games public Discord server before final approval for this date was given by Game Media. So Game Media is saying like this was not cool. Like I said, they wanted to wait to Monday, but this morning I was like, F that noise. Oh, really appreciate the news. October 31st is an amazing targeted release date. And then this is Game Media upset about it. Why is something as important as the official release date announcement handled like this? Not only did we not greenlight the 31st as a release date, but we also missed a marketing opportunity to create hype now. Didn't we have marketing plans for the official release date announcement? If you want to get the community talking, shouldn't you just tell them about a big announcement coming on the 29th? Or maybe hint to the node sale and or us sharing the release date on the 29th. There's no announcement if you leak the full announcement. In our opinion, it just makes us come across as unprofessional to have people from within the company seemingly sharing info they're not supposed to share. The official release date announcement is a big deal in the gaming industry. We were frankly quite pissed seeing it being handled like this when we opened Discord this morning. So that's totally fair. So on this one, Benefactor saying, same, Game Media will come around. It's hard to teach a horse new tricks. Screenshot of Gala Game CEO publicly sharing adverse commentary concerning Game Media and third-party developers in general. Here we have Johnny Gonzo talking and Bitbender talking back to him, saying that, they don't run any of that stuff. That's operated by Game Media. Say again, I have better stuff to deal with today. Again, I keep asking, can you please demonstrate how this is untrue? Again, I keep asking, can you demonstrate how it's untrue? We don't have the source code and we can't make changes, which is true. They don't have the source code. We are 100% dependent on them to do that. This was not the case because we would take over development, but we can't. You are getting the truth here. Nothing I've said is in any way false. Fortunately, no, we don't have the ability to make changes to them. So screenshots of Gala Games folks here publicly responding to questions about Spider Tanks. And Spider Tanks saying that there was consistent Gala API server errors and explicitly stated Game Media is in charge of everything related to Spider Tanks. In truth, Gala Games is responsible for building, running GalaChain, the GalaChain API, the token economy, the token distribution, and the SpiderTank nodes. But sure, I don't think they were saying that they weren't in charge of that specifically, but they didn't have the source code. I don't know. The problem is that we really didn't F up here, so I'm not going to apologize for stuff we didn't do. If we did F up, it was in making too good of a deal for developers out of the gate. So publicly shifting blame and responsibility is what Game Media says here. In an entirely hypothetical situation, you would expect a publisher to offer to buy out the game, take a reduced rev share, etc. And then if the dev team comes back with a number that is absolutely point of being several orders of magnitude beyond the revenue numbers, it would hypothetically be crazy. One of the challenges we face this with third-party games is that the contracts were signed when things were a certain way in the market and have things like pre-sales in them. I have also heard of situations where teams have asked the publisher to acquire them and buy them out at rather ridiculous numbers, or they will slow or stop development. And then it is up to the publisher to find a way around that. The challenge is that the games don't belong to the publisher and they can't force development if the developer doesn't want to develop. So they said here, screenshots of Jason Brink very clearly implicating Gala Games' situation with Game Media, sharing confidential information severely out of context, painting Game Media in a bad light. I don't disagree that it's painting them in a bad light. The question is, is it true? That we haven't purchased their whole company outright for an undisclosed price tag, that they want to be acquired full stop, and they are willing to hold the community hostage for it. It is highly unlikely that they would state this because it pretty much changes the focus of the whole thing. I said that they didn't tell us what they wanted. They did ask us to make an offer for their company. We asked them what they wanted, and they would not give us a number, so they didn't ask for anything, but made it clear that was the only path forward. Again, confidential information, an attempt to deflect skeptical questions. And it basically kind of goes on like this. Game Media puts this one in here, but this is specifically about Legacy. So they say Legacy was originally supposed to have its own token, not use the fractional Gala model. They changed that at some point for some reason, and there isn't anything we can do about it because our contracts do not give us the ability to force them to do anything or to change or seize the source code. So Game Media is saying, Jason Brink said right here that they don't have the ability with the contracts to seize the source code. He said Legacy here. Contracts could have included somebody else, but I understand what they're getting at there. And then here he's saying that he wasn't implying anything about Jesse the Law Tank of writing specifically bad contracts. With a lot of these games with external third parties, we have very few levers we can pull to decide if they want to do something or not. So, going on further, this is all basically Game Media lawyer had presented. Hey Ditmar, how you doing? I don't know if you have seen, but we were changing a bunch about the way emissions work. Ben, who didn't understand or play the game, is moving on to the other stuff. Hey Jason, yes, I've seen the changes, and the Honor and Silk Pool refill adjustments are a step in the good direction. I'm not excited about another 7th team switch because we'll lose a lot of knowledge and history. Thanks for the update. I don't think you will lose much knowledge here. Levi is far more dialed into the game, community, and together is going to get much easier. I spent the last few days with Eric and John, and I think we've managed to get a serious philosophical think it will be from here forward. I think now is when we find out how awesome Spider Tanks can really be. Some of those other meetings were really painful, constantly reviewing the same data on something. I know you've been working your butt off, but after so many promises, goals, deadlines not being met, Gala decides what's best for them. So we have to choose what's best for our company as well. We need mobile games. We need mobile games are 100% our investment at the moment. I'm sure Levi is a great guy, but there's more to it. Ditmar says here, a screenshot depicting Game Media's inquiry to Gala Games on the 27th of October regarding the payment scheduled for September 30th. So basically a month late, is asking. October is nearing its end, and it looks like we're 5 months behind with payments, which is a huge amount. And obviously there shouldn't have been any reason at that time to be behind, I don't think. ACH payment will be going out tomorrow. Not sure what the delay ended up being. If that happens again, let me know. Thanks. Still not received. Got it. Escalating. I've been asking about payment status since 5th of October. Since it's running 6 months late, it's incredibly frustrating. I've roped John Eric into a chat with the finance team to resolve this as soon as possible. Payment should be hitting your account tomorrow. Jared is going to reach out to you to confirm. Can you please give us an update on the earnings since the last payments? It has been added to the conversation. Looping and Andrew, will you please provide Ditmar a summary of Game Media earnings since the last rev share point payment? Hey Ditmar, I can get you a reconciliation through February by the end of the week. Thanks. Seems you forgot about a request. This is 2 weeks later. Seems like you forgot about a request, so here's a friendly reminder. Hey Ditmar, here's the current balance for Q4 and Q1 23 through end of February. Thanks. Any reason you don't pay us monthly like you should? Last payment was from September. This is in March, so October, November, December, January, February. So like, yeah, 6 months, right? Screenshot showcasing the correspondence between Game Media and Gala Games in March 2023, addressing the highly delayed payment originally slated for December 2022. It is noteworthy that the payment was ultimately received on May 26th, thus representing a considerable delay of 6 months. I pinged legal on addendum, hoping to have it today. Sorry for the delay. Payment should go out next week. I've approved, waiting for our CFO. I've also just had an engineering role approved to focus exclusively on SpiderTank's dedicated data analysts for the game, which I hope to have online end of something. UA have our internal team standing up a landing page. In our previous meeting, we felt like we have pretty clearly communicated our need for the constantly delayed financial information is very dependent on it. Yet again, being told something so important to us is coming end of day, and only now following up on it comes across as unprofessional. Therefore, we have decided we will not answer these requests and other requests in DMs until we get this information and have something. This decision is solely based on the repeated lack of requested financial info, but more a reaction to a collection of things that understand the frustration, certainly not the intent to be disrespectful. Automated solutions we should have in place that Levi is maybe working on. Monthly rev reporting via Helica. Monthly financial reports. Chatted with our new head of FP and A yesterday. We will have monthly reporting the third week of something. List of examples of documented unlawful acts of Gala Games has conducted. So this is Game Media saying that Gala Games distributed a substantial quantity of valuable SpiderTank NFTs items to Gala Game employees without obtaining prior consent from Game Media. That's probably true because we do know that the very, very high-end NFTs went out to some Gala Game employees. Gala Games granted an exceptionally valuable SpiderTanks NFT, the Ancient Snoops Bumpin' Lowrider, to a community member for free. That was it was given to John T at the Snoop concert thing. This NFT was intended to be the sole version of the item available for purchase, with the other held exclusively by Snoop Dogg. Gala Games claimed this was a mistake, yet Game Media was never compensated for this. Eric Schirmeyer, CEO of Gala Games, made a public announcement saying, "How many of you would play SpiderTanks on your phone if it was available?" At everyone, vote in the reactions. Without securing Game Media's prior consent, it is worth noting that the development of a mobile version of the game was not part of any active roadmap, and the Gala Games SpiderTanks team, with whom Game Media maintained daily communication during this period, was well aware of Game Media's reservations regarding investment in a mobile adaptation of their game. So, I don't know if Benefactor has to have consent to ask a question like that, because he wasn't saying it would happen. But I can see how that's annoying to them because it sounded like they didn't want to do a mobile game at all. And then on several occasions, Gala Games employees publicly affirmed that Game Media SpiderTanks would incorporate utility for a Gala Games product named Vox. It is crucial to note that Game Media consistently voiced their objections in response to that. Scroll down here. This, as they had neither authorized nor consented to anything being publicized about a collaborative partnership with Vox. So that sounds like that was Gala pushed. Then they're saying that Gala Games decided to not let users pay with Silk during one purchase, which was not their decision. Hey man, I see you're trying to damage control the Discord. To avoid making this a public issue, I'll ask my question here. I see you're saying you're experimenting with how users buy NFTs. Coming from a scientific background, I know experiments have hype something. Based on what hypothesis are you guys testing this sale with Silk? What plausible outcome made this a good thing to try? Hey Robin, thanks for the ping. This was a test to sales velocity when currency options are restricted, as there is something in regards to what the removal of this option would do to that velocity. We'll be adding Silk back in 24 hours. Sentiment or anecdotes, happy to hop on a call. Totally understand the frustration. Then numerous documented occurrences exist wherein Eric Schirmeyer pledged marketing expenditures not only to Game Media but also to the SpiderTanks community. Regrettably, none of these commitments materialized, leaving the actual marketing expenditure for SpiderTanks unfulfilled to this day. This one's pretty interesting because I do remember Benefactor dropping a Discord post that said just signed for $1 million advertisement on YouTube or something, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to verify that, unless more stuff comes out in here. More good news for our SpiderTank fans. Just 5 minutes ago here, it has approved a $1 million immediately. You should start seeing our ads on YouTube. So again, Yeah, I don't know how I can confirm that. So, and then I'm gonna start to scroll through the rest of this here, because then it's basically back and forth some emails. And then with every single one though, they attach like basically everything we just went through. So it makes it a little annoying to scroll through here. But I'm going to be just looking for kind of my highlights in some of these aspects here. Whoops. Man, there's so many pages, 119. So it's a little hard to like scroll through here. A slide from a presentation Gala Games made and presented to Game Media on the 9th of July 2021, preparing both teams for the initial commercial launch. So that's Game Media writing that, because that's what they want the commercial launch to be, so that they can move on earlier. But once again, I don't think they are going to win that one. Like I said, a bunch of other stuff I can definitely foreseeably see was happening to them, which, yeah, 6 months of delay in payments is very annoying. And once again, I hope Gala Games gets their accounting department in line, or figures it out or something, because that does not look good to any third party if you're going to be paying any third party folks to do stuff. So once again, this is basically Gala Games lawyer responding to Game Media. They said, but the September 2021 release was a closed beta test, not the commercial launch. This fact is confirmed by your own Appendix 1, which repeatedly refers to the closed beta, which we just discussed. Source code. We will not belabor what we have already explained to you. Suffice it to say, you admit that Gala Games has a license to Game Media IP as incorporated in the branded game. Under the agreement, Game Media IP expressly includes source code. I guess that's true. I don't know. That's a legal thing, right? The source code is clearly incorporated into the branded game. Indeed, that is how source code works. It is compiled into the executable branded game. And he's responding here that they alleged delay or incomplete payments or information. And then the lawyer just said, you have not identified any particular payment that was allegedly owed to Game Media when it was due, or even the amount of money at issue. Instead, you attach chat messages that are not competent evidence. So once again, the chat is probably true, but I guess, yeah, to have appropriate evidence, I guess maybe they have to like actually have like the exact payment that was due, or I don't know how you show that. Guess some kind of pay stub or payroll, or if they weren't getting any financial information from Gala, then I don't know how you would kind of show the amounts if you don't know how much has been paid, right? Or how much the game is earning. Let's see. So they went ahead and put this on here too, just showing once again September 2021 for a limited time only. You could get the whale shark, and then play the new build, limited time only. And I'm really sure you had to have the whale shark to be able to test it or to go into the community playtest. So yeah, community playtest, continued closed beta testing. Again, I don't think Game Media is going to win that part, and I think it is going to be probably October 2025. But so these are the least fun videos for me to make. I hope you at least appreciate the info. It's really boring for me. It takes a lot of time to slap these together, and of course, just makes me sad to see strife and stuff, because I have a legendary chicken and I enjoy spider tanks. My 5-year-old still plays it actually, but on my account it's still locked out because I think the Gala chains kind of borked with some of those common tanks that filled up my thing. So I'll keep everybody updated as everything continues to progress, and as always, stay warm, Wookiees.